Wolf, I'm going to pull a Gambo here. I've got this notebook.
I see it.
Not even joking, but this is where I put the notes. You know, you're watching the Cardinals game. You kind of have to take notes as it's going. So I hadn't really looked back at it yet since the game happened. We just kind of talked on emotion yesterday about it. There is something in here, though, that I did really like about the game that I didn't really hear brought up yesterday. So I'll throw this out there to start the segment, okay?
Okay.
We're talking, and we're going to talk a little bit later on about what, concerned us the most from that game on Sunday. Also, Patrick Peterson's going to join us in a half hour.
Pat P.
Be good to get his thoughts and maybe try and talk him out of retirement since they don't have corners right now. Alex Wine.
Seriously, I think he could do it.
We have to at least ask him, right?
Pat, what kind of shape are you in? I just want to know right now. What kind of shape, Pat?
I mean, he might be getting a call. Alex Weiner's going to join us 11:45, talk about this D-backs run. We're going to take a listeners-only meeting at 12:30, and we're going to talk to Chris Cartman at 1:30 to talk Sun Devils. This is one thing that I didn't hear brought up a ton from the game because I think it kind of got lost in the shuffle of the second half, understandably so. But it was the middle of the game. And it's funny because Kenny Dillingham has, I think, impressed this upon a lot of people because he always talks about the middle eight. This wasn't exactly the middle eight. It didn't fit, neatly into the middle eight. But the Cardinals scored a touchdown right before halftime.
Yeah.
Got the ball, came out and scored a touchdown to start the second half. So they marched right down the field, 6 plays, 45 yards in 47 seconds. That's when Michael Wilson had the touchdown with 4 seconds left in the first half. Then they came out, 9 plays, 71 yards, took 5.5 off the clock. James Conner scored. I mean, looking back, that's the game right there. 14 straight points in about a 6.5-minute span.
Yeah, so what are you saying, Luke? Are you saying that you thought was the turning point right there?
Yeah,
for the Arizona Cardinals. Okay, yeah.
That's what I liked the most about that and Calais, but we're all going to talk about Calais.
Yeah, for the most part, it was the defense for me and how they started the game. It was just, are you kidding me right now? Getting off to a good start is so important, Ron Wolfley reporting. It just is, especially in the game of football.
Sources.
It doesn't mean you're going to go and you're going to win every game where you start well. It does not mean that. There are many, many NFL teams that will come back and beat you when they don't start well, and you do. That, we see it every week. Yet at the same time, for the most part, more times than not, when you get up by 2 possessions early in a game because you come out and you take the ball away from the opponent, you generate a touchdown off a strip sack, and then you get a pick, and the offense goes out and gets 3 more points. The way they started that game, to me, was the reason why they won that game, ultimately. It was how they started, and it was also how they finished. I get that. But, man, without that start, Cardinals might have lost that game.
Yeah, because Bryce Young hasn't looked comfortable a lot in his NFL career, but he was starting to look a lot more comfortable in the fourth quarter of that game. And there were times towards the end of last season where he looked better too, but specifically in the fourth quarter of that game.
Yeah, once Hunter Renfrow became Jerry Rice.
Rick is on his anti-Hunter Renfrow run.
I'm not on an anti-Hunter Renfrow. It was just wild how much he went off for a guy that, was cut earlier this season.
I think, again, what I'm getting to as well, the Arizona Cardinals largely, this is a gross simplification of the truth, brothers.
Okay.
But for doing a talk show, this is what we do. We have a tendency of doing this for clarity's sake. The Arizona Cardinals won that game because of their defense.
Yeah.
How they started and how they finished.
If you had to say offense, defense, or special teams, if you had to pick one, maybe we should do this every week. Who won the game? Offense, defense, or special teams? And you have to have an answer. The defense has won the first 2 games.
You have to. Because you can't have 2. Couldn't be the offense and defense.
No, it's not in the world of
what
a
about
producer.
complementary football
Nope.
where all 3 phases just copy? Stop it.
Producers will run in here and yell at you if you don't have one definitive answer. If you had to have an answer, you'd say defense for each of the first 2 games.
Yes.
Okay.
Interesting. Yes, I would say that.
Here's Calais talking about how they need to keep this going defensively.
Yeah, we need more of that, though. We need more of that, But I'll tell you, Josh Sweat,
just to set the tone like that, to make a play that huge. It's just a spectacular game for him, spectacular game for us. And just, we feel like we didn't pass rush well enough the game before, so it was a big emphasis all week, and I feel like we were much better rushing the passer today.
Yeah, they came out and they proved it on that very first possession. They came out and they proved that, getting after the passer. You know what I love about Calais, just listening to him. You know what? This isn't good enough. Did you get that?
Yeah, that was right after the game.
When he just started, when he just started that cut, he was focused on the fact that, we have to keep doing what we're doing. This is not good enough. Okay? That is leadership. That is who he is. Just play the first half of that again and listen to Calais Campbell and what he says.
Yeah, we need more of that, though. We need more of that.
More of that.
But I'll tell you, Josh Sweat, just to set the tone like that, to make a play that huge. It's just a spectacular game for him, spectacular game for us. And just, we feel like we didn't pass rush well enough the game before, so it was a big emphasis all week, and I feel like we were much better rushing the passer today.
Yeah, we just got to we need more of that. We need more of that. This, don't ever accept something is good. Always think you can do better, my young crunks. And Calais just told you that.
It was cool to see him end the game for a variety of reasons, one of which being that everybody just wanted that game to end, I think, including Calais. But also, because of the story of him coming back, and that's his first home game with the Cardinals since 2016. But there was also the element of this is a guy that a lot of guys on that defense are looking up to. And he was already voted a captain before he'd ever played a game with any of these guys before the season started. But, you always talk about how you can lead even more when you're doing. He leads the team in sacks right now, too. So It's not like anybody would be like, well, Calais, you're saying all this stuff that makes sense. We don't have any sacks yet. But the fact that he had 2 in that game just drives the point home. Here he is with Paulie afterwards on talking about the sack that ended it, finally.
Well, my mindset was get a good get off. Get off. He's going to have to hold the ball because he needs to get the first down. So he's not going to throw it away. And just stay alive in your rush, use your hands. And, me and Zaven almost collided because he was doing a power rush and I was doing a field rush. And we didn't really communicate because it was kind of hurry-up situation. And so he almost knocked me off, but then it ended up working in my favor because it looked like kind of a game. And I was able to power the tackle, and then he came back out, which made Bryce kind of come back in the inside to where I was at free. And, it was just a great play. But, shout out to Zaven for just being a smart player, to understanding how to protect each other. And, it was just a great team win.
Yeah, that was kind of weird, man. You go back and you look at it right there, that he attacked the B gap, and it looked like Zaven was going to come behind him. And Zavala, the right guard, who was a backup right guard, as a matter of fact, for the Carolina Panthers, all of a sudden he was out there and he thought, oh, here it comes. Okay, this is going to be a TE stunt, meaning the tackle up the field, of course, and here comes the end underneath. So I'm going to pass him off. And the tackle was not thinking that. And it was Calais who burst through that B gap. And then those long arms just wrapped up Bryce Young, man. It was a great play by Calais Campbell. When you think about this, 18 years in the league, who leads the team in sacks right now? Calais Campbell, 2 big sacks in this game. He's already a captain, 18 years in the league, and he goes out and makes that play. You want to know what kind of clout Calais Campbell has inside that locker room? You can't measure it, bro, with human hands.
Can you imagine if he and Zaven had collided, like he said? I think Bryce Young would have just fallen over 5 yards away. Like if Calais Campbell and Zaven Collins run into each other, that's
leadership.
That's something you're going to see. I tell you the other part too. When we were giving out game balls yesterday for the defense, nobody even considered Zaven Collins, who had a touchdown on the defensive side.
Yes,
because that's how impactful Calais Campbell was yesterday.
Thanks for watching Wolf and Luke. Tap to see more and click the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.